Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. Y'all doing all right? It is a damn fine day. I mean, a damn fine day to talk about a book. We are here for the McCammon Project, episode 3, where I work my way through the works, standalone novels first of Robert R. McCammon. We've done Swan Song. We've done Bail. And now we are in his second standalone novel, Bethany's Sin. Let me hear the synopsis. Let's do the synopsis. In a mad stampede, they stormed the tree-lined streets and wield their wrath upon their ancient enemy. On the thundering hooves of demon steeds, the killing evil blazes through Bethany's Sin. The riders of the night possess a power that spans the ages. They burn with a rage that knows no mercy, no forgiveness. They are cunning, hard, implacable, and men are their only prey. Horror master Robert R. McCammon, best-selling author of Stinger and Swan Song, creates a blistering novel of deadly menace, of the most ancient savage war on Earth. This is a cool book. I like this book. Might have liked it a little bit more than Bale, I think. So I'll be around 4 stars on it. As I've said in the past, Swan Song for me is 5 stars. Boy's Life is 5 stars. Bale was 3, but I really enjoyed the first 100 pages. This one's somewhere in the middle. I liked it. So, I didn't really tell you anything about characters or anything like that, but we open up on a scene where 1965 near the Black Sea. It is an archaeological dig. What we know is a woman goes into this ruins. This thing has been recently revealed by an earthquake, this ancient city, and she goes in and finds something. And she is, we feel that she's in, she comes out with something. She comes out with some type of power. We don't really know what it is. Ultimately, this has got a lot to do with the ancient city of, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but Themyscira, the city of the Amazons, and this warring tribe of women that set out murderous rampages against men, and that power has been found and brought back to a very, very small village called Bethany's Sin in the United States. Yes, the village is called Bethany's Sin, and there's deeper meaning to that odd name for a town. I probably won't go into it too much here. And then we flash to, after that, after we know that, after we leave the archaeological dig site, we flash to Vietnam in 1970. And our main character of the book, or one of our main characters of the book, Evan Reed. It is Evan, isn't it? Yeah. Evan Reed is a POW. And he's being tortured. And there's a scene there with a spider, a poisonous spider that's pretty damn freaky, especially if you're afraid of spiders. I'm not really afraid of spiders, but it is a freaky torture scene. Ultimately, he escapes, and he but he has to run. He has to get the fuck out of there. Gunshots going everywhere, and he returns with more soldiers to try to rescue the others. And when he gets there, they're all dead. And during this time in this POW camp, he's flashing back to a scene from his childhood where his brother fell out of a tree and he ran off to get help, which I don't know what else he's supposed to do. He wasn't a doctor, but he ran off to get help. He comes back and his brother has died from his injuries. And so in both cases, he didn't really have a choice. He had to go get more help. He couldn't do anything on his own. But that shit has haunted him. That shit has lived with him. That shit has weighed heavy on him for his life. The idea that he ran away. I mean, even though he was running away to get help, the idea that he ran away from these two troubling situations. So they're setting you up there for this idea that Evan is not going to run away from the next thing that, the next dangerous thing that happens to him or his family. He's married. He's got a young daughter, 6 years old, roughly. And they move to this little community of Bethany's Sin. There, a house comes up for sale, a house they probably couldn't afford in any other location. The deal is too good to turn down. It's too good to turn down. And they move into this town. And, really quickly, Evan notices that, there's not a lot of men moving around this town at night. I've met a bunch of women, but there's not a lot of men. And the neighbor across the street they say he's on vacation, but it appears that he's gone missing. The neighbor next door is badly disabled. They said it happened in a car wreck, but there's just something really weird going on. And ultimately, it's this group of women led by Dr. Drago, who is a professor at the local college. Evan's wife has also taken on a summer job as a math teacher at the local college. But they are part of this Amazonian death cult, so to speak. They go out every when the moon is full. They get on their horses, and it's not just them. They are transformed into these Amazonian rage machines, and then they go out and they kill men. If they find men on the road, in the woods, they just go out and kill men. Now that, the ones that remain, the men that still remain in Bethany's Sin, they have all been maimed or physically altered in some way. And they're just kept around for, what would you keep a man around for? For breeding purposes. So there's that element of it too. But what I liked a lot, I like the horror about this. First of all, I like the, now while villainous, I like the strong female villains, the strong leads. I find it, look, it's not like, in the 1980s or whenever this book came out, that we weren't getting books like that. Stephen King had plenty of female leads, I think. But not as many as this, I don't think. Because Swan Song, when I did Swan Song, after this book came out in 1980, I think. When I did Swan Song, I found it refreshing that the two leads, the two saviors of this entire thing were women. A young girl, who grew into a young woman, and also a homeless woman. That was your two powerful players on the side of good. In this one, you've got very, very powerful players, female, on the side of bad. But I find that kind of cool, and because the whole idea was, that while they're these evil, rage-filled, horse riding, death-dealing monsters, there's, this ancient woman versus man thing there. There's this ancient thing of, men, kept their foot on our throats for generations, and the Amazonian thing kind of rose up and fought back. So there's that element to it. But I really like that, just the refreshing, strong female villains in this one. Ultimately, Evan, he's a writer. He's trying to do research on the town, research on this place, and of course he starts to uncover shit with the help of traveling. He's a traveler. That's what he's a drifter, so to speak. But he stopped off in Bethany's Sin to do yard work and town cleanup and things like that for a while. He sets on this course to basically come face to face with this ancient Amazonian evil. It's a cool book. The horror scenes in it are really cool. Again, you have to imagine these rage-filled female monsters riding around on these demon steeds in the woods carrying axes. I mean, they're carrying these blue fiery axes. There's a scene where they go after another traveler named, what was his name, Muscadine John or something like that. Cool name. That scene's brutal, ugly brutal. I mean, dismemberment, decapitation, head flying through the trees in the woods, brutal. And there's another scene later when they discover in the landfill, they discover like some teeth in the landfill, and they go to look after it, or look and see if they can find any bodies. And there's a brutal horror scene there as well. Ultimately, I even really liked the ending of this book. I mean, the ending is really cool. Of course, like I said, there's this whole aspect of knowing that Evan considers himself to be a bit of a runner from, these tough situations in the past. His wife's being pulled into this cult or whatever. His daughter is being trained up. Like, there's a scene where they put her with a babysitter, a local woman, and he comes back and there's this like little toy bow and arrow in like the baby, or in the bed with her, and this idea of this cult of Artemis. You can look that up, but the bits about the self-mutilation that these cult members take on when they are inducted into the cult, that those bits are cool as well. There's just a lot of really cool shit. I liked it. Again, it's I've read a lot of horror books from this time that are, again, I hate using the term, but lowbrow horror, just slasher, just, sex fiend, murderer type stuff. And McCammon stuff has just all been really smart horror, in my opinion. So I like this. I'm probably at 4 stars, somewhere in the middle. Like I said, I really like the ending. It was a gutsy ending, if you will. I won't go much more into it, but I really liked what happened in the final showdown between Mr. Evan Reed and Dr. Drago. It's a cool scene, really cool scene. So this is Bethany's Sin. This has been the McCammon Project, episode 3. Next up we have Night Boat. I'll be reading the Night Boat soon. I also, like I said last time, I think I'm going to try to start slowly doing some short stories from Blue World and bringing some content here to the McCammon Project. So this is Well Red Beard. This has been Bethany's Sin. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books. All of them. God, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.